Good morning, everyone. I just dropped my son off at school. So now I am on to day 5, second week, day 5 of in-classroom observations. And I'm pretty excited. I am having the hardest time, though, getting up in the morning. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Like, it's a struggle for me. I am not a morning person. Like, I've never really been a morning person ever in my life. So this will be a continued struggle, and I mentioned that last week. I realized watching back last week, I repeated myself a lot. Like explaining where I was at and stuff like that, as if, yeah, I did that a lot. I'm gonna try to do better this week of not doing that. But if I'm tired in the morning, I'll let you guys know that I'm tired. I also didn't eat breakfast because I didn't have time, because I didn't want to get out of bed because I was so tired that I didn't have time to actually eat this morning, which I'm going to regret that. I know I am. I did, though, bring a bottle of water, so hopefully that can kind of fill my hunger until I get home. Today. My husband was willing to give me some cash to like pick something up on the way to the school, but honestly there's nothing on the way, which is both a good and bad thing. It's a good thing because then I'm not tempted to like go to McDonald's or something on my way to school, but it's a bad thing for days like today where I really just didn't have time to eat and there's nothing I can do about it, like, because there's nowhere to go. Except maybe a gas station, but I really don't want to get gas station food. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. On that note, with that though, I think next week when I get my groceries online from Walmart, I order them and I just pick them up. So next week I think I'm gonna order some like yogurt for me, and hopefully my kids don't get into my yogurt. Like some yogurt, granola, maybe some like fruits or something, or some like granola bars or something. So if I don't have time to eat in the morning, I can bring it in with me and eat it in the classroom before I start, because I do have time to eat once I get to the school. So I think I'm gonna start doing that. So yeah. And on another off-topic note, really quick, if anyone has any ideas how to keep a 3-year-old out of your bed at night and wants to leave that in the comments below, please let me know, because that's why I get so tired in the morning. I think my 3-year-old crawls into bed with me and he's like right up against me. We don't have a big bed. We have a queen-size bed, and I am not the skinniest person in the world. I'm working on it. I'm trying to find a time to squeeze in going to the gym and still functioning as a human being with even less sleep then. So I'm trying to figure all that out, because with my other job that I do, I work for a gym and I get paid with a gym membership. They don't pay me money. They pay me with a family gym membership. And I'm like, I'm gonna work out and all this stuff, and I never use it. And so I either need to quit that job or I need to start going to the gym. And I'd rather start going to the gym and find time. So here within the next couple weeks, I'm really going to like figure out when to use that. But yeah, if anyone has any ideas how to keep a 3-year-old out of your bed, like keeping him in his bed all night long, and want to share your secrets and your wisdom with me, please do, because I need him out of my bed. I had problems like this with my first, where he would climb into bed with me, and I'm thinking I need to start doing what I did with him when he started climbing into bed with me. I need to get like a baby mattress, like a cheap baby mattress. Only there's no room in my room for this, but I'll figure it out. What I could probably do is slide it under my bed during the day and just pull it out by my side, and if he comes in, he has to sleep on the mattress, so that he could still be in my room, like kind of a transition thing. He could still be in my room, but he's not in bed with me. Maybe that's what I'll do. So I'm here at the school though, so I'm gonna head on in. I'm gonna park and head in, and I'm going to have a great day. And I will catch up with you guys later, probably on my way to my other job, or possibly I liked doing it on my way home from the school, because then I don't talk as much. Possibly I might still talk as much, because this has been 5 minutes and it was just from the other school, so it would probably be the same actually. But I'll see you guys later. Hopefully here in the next few weeks I will be getting a better camera to vlog this with, because right now I'm using my phone and it's not bad by any means, but it's kind of annoying to use my phone. So I really want to get a better vlogging camera. I was going to use the vlogging camera that we have right now to just see if the iPhone's better, which I'm pretty darn sure it is, just because that one took such a beating from my kids. We got it because it was like waterproof and dust proof and all these, like, pretty much kid proof, but because it took such a beating, like, it's no good anymore. So I'm going to get a new vlogging camera, and it's going to be my vlogging camera, not even my husband's. Like, I'll let my husband use it every once in a while, but my kids are not allowed to touch it. And when we do that, then I'm going to actually start doing other videos as well. So we're going to keep doing this. I'm also getting a laptop. I'll do a whole unboxing. Like, it'll be like an unboxing marathon for days. Or probably weeks, because I'll probably post one unboxing like each week, kind of a thing. So that's probably what I'll do. But yeah, I'm here, so I'm gonna go in. So talk to you later. Okay. So day 5 done. First day of the second week. So I was kind of put in charge of my own reading group last week for a couple days, like the last 2 days. But today it was like official that I have my own reading group and a chapter book that we're reading. And we are reading, I don't want to hit a car as I pull out, that would be bad. So we're reading Socks by Beverly Cleary. I've never read this book before, so we're kind of reading it along. I should have brought the book home with me so I could read it while I was at work. Maybe I'll bring it home tomorrow so I can read it at work. So far, what I gather, it's about a cat that was bought or maybe given away. I don't even know yet. Loved by a family, and then a baby comes into the family and the cat has to like find its place in the family again. That's what I'm kind of gathering from the back of the book and from the front cover, kind of a thing. I had 2 students in my reading group though that were just very disrespectful, I guess you could put it. They did not want to participate. They were not listening, not following directions, very defiant, and stayed back after the reading group so I could talk to them. One of them said that he would try to do better. The other one didn't even want to give me the promise of even trying to do better, which does not provoke much confidence in the fact that he's going to try to do better. And this is the same student last week that I was talking about who, like, came in dizzy from recess because he kind of just didn't want to be at school. It's the same kid. So it's gonna be hard. And that's okay. So that happened today. I also use with my reading group because they just did not want to. It's also, just letting you know, today, this is the week of Valentine's Day. So there's a holiday, which means that there's going to be a class party. They all know this. And I guess they have Friday off of school for like Teacher Institute Day. And so, not only is it a holiday, but it's a day off of school. It's a 4-day week. And so they're kind of all just really chatty and not focused on work, kind of a thing, because that really throws off kids' schedules, like knowing that bit of information. So they were just really chatty today. It was also Monday. The teacher didn't feel like she had everything prepared as well as she needed to, and so that kind of, it's funny how, like, last week she was very composed the entire week. She had everything prepared. She knew what she was doing. This week she knew what she wanted to get done, but she didn't necessarily have everything prepared. And that's because they were redoing the reading groups. They were reassigning different things. And so it's just interesting how when the teacher feels not necessarily frazzled, but doesn't feel completely put together, the whole class kind of picks up on that and becomes a distraction to the entire class when the teacher's not fully, like, put together and prepared for the day. And that's reading groups. I think that was one of the big things. Like, neither teacher, because it's the reading groups are divided between two classes on who gets what reading level, kind of a thing, which is awesome because that means during reading group time they have probably at least 7 like actual reading groups, which really means that they can really get into who's at what reading level and either challenge them with the books, like, to help every student progress. I said my son, which I just passed the school, my kids go to a charter school, and they don't have reading groups like that I'm aware of, where they really do divide them out between the classes and really challenges each student, which would be really nice because my son is like, has a really high reading score and he should be challenged more. So yeah, that's pretty much all from today. Reading group. I'm trying to think what else. There was a lot of redirection. Like I said, I'm not really actually writing down any notes because I'm waiting until I get my iPad to do it, so I only have to do it one time. So I'm using this as kind of like a brain dump of everything that kind of went on throughout the day so that I can go through and rewatch it and like take my field notes off of these videos. So these first few weeks, they're probably going to be longer videos because I'm like literally brain dumping everything into this so that I can rewatch it and get all the information that I need. At the end of me leaving, there was one student who went to the teacher and was complaining of a hurt stomach, and he looked like he didn't feel very well, but they're gonna wait it out until after lunch and see if he's okay. I think he might be coming down with the flu. Just with like the clues that he gave us, like his brother had the flu all weekend and now his stomach was upset. We had him go to the bathroom to see if that helped, but I don't think it's gonna help. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. We talked about how there just wasn't enough time during the day to get everything done, and how they really don't do a lot of science and social studies because they're not being tested. There's not very many standards. The state standards for those things, or Common Core standards for science and social studies. Little known fact, if I'm saying this correctly, there are no science or what the. So I'm waiting to turn left right here. There's no stop signs, which means the person that was like going straight, like cutting past me, he should not have gone straight. Yeah, that was weird. Just kind of broke the law. Anyway, there's no Common Core standards for science or social studies. There's Common Core standards for math, writing, reading and writing, like the language arts and math. Those are where there's the Common Core standards. Every other standard that you see are based on state standards and like the district standards, kind of a thing. So a lot of elementary school focuses a lot on the math and the reading and the writing, like the language arts kind of a thing. But in science and social studies kind of gets pushed to the back, which is why a lot of times in reading and their writing, they try to incorporate some kind of social studies aspect. We have somebody on the street moving. Squirrel much. Which is really sad. So that's what they focus on. And so we talked about that and how there's just not enough time during the day for everything, kind of a thing. So, but I'm home, so I'm going to go inside. I have a sick little boy in there, so I'm going to go and spend time with him before I have to take my other son to school and before I have to go to work. So I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Good morning, everyone. So I just dropped my son off at school. I'm about to head out of carpool line here. Sure, no cars coming the other way. We're off to observations. I'm actually feeling pretty good today. Like, I'm not like super tired. I feel like I slept pretty well. Even though my son was in bed with us last night. Like, I didn't even know he was in bed with me for the majority of the night because he was right up against my husband instead of me last night. There's like a huge backup now in the carpool line because we're waiting for all these cars to pass. Okay, it's still going. I had a notification, so I wanted to make sure it was still going. So I'm not as tired as I normally am, which is really nice. I was even able to re-curl my hair a little bit, which is fun. I like having my hair curled and nice. It's not like super curly. And I even was able to like do my makeup because I washed my face last night, which is something, to be honest, I don't usually do. I don't wash my face until like the next morning, but I was like noticing I was getting a couple breakouts right over here, so I'm like, I'm gonna wash my face. So I did, which has nothing to do with observations, and I'm sure you all just wanted to know that. But anyway, so I'm off today to do the observations. Sometime this week I'm supposed to help out with bus duty. I was supposed to help last week, but I didn't know what day to help out with. Because my teacher that I'm observing, she does bus duties on Fridays, and I'm not there on Friday. And so I don't want to just go out there and be like, I'm here, where do you guys want me, kind of a thing, because that just kind of feels a little awkward. I think I need my sunglasses. It'd be bright. Hopefully it's not like too bright and overexposed on the camera here. But yeah, so I don't know where I was going with that. Bus duty, can't do it Fridays, so the teacher's gonna try to find another teacher for me to like go out and help with. So hopefully that gets kind of figured out soon, because I don't want to like disappoint the principal by not doing bus duty. But I honestly, like, the very first day I was like, the principal wants me to do bus, like I was talking to one of the secretaries, like the principal wants me to do bus duty once a week, and but I don't know where to help out. Like, I'm not on the schedule or anything like that. Like, if they really want me to, they could just put me on the schedule. I know I'm not like hired or anything like that, but I'm there Monday through Thursday. Like, I'm going to be there. Like I said, unless I'm throwing up, I said that last week, unless I'm throwing up, I'm going to be there. So, but on other news, so last night at work, I was just kind of going through my school account, kind of a thing, and I pulled up my demonstration teaching, like, tracking thing to make sure I submitted everything. And there's a new thing on there where there's like an actual tracker, because I guess it's because I'm like 6 months before, and it's crazy to also think that this month is like halfway over, so I'm even like closer to like 5 months before I start my student teaching. Like, it's getting real. It's getting crazy. But like the tracker is saying that I'm on progress. Everything's submitted. I'm actually ahead of progress because in February I'm supposed to have 22 competency units remaining, and I only have 3 left. And competency units are like credits. That's like the equivalent to a credit. It's just at Western Governors University they call them competency units. So I only have, sorry, I had that music playing. So I only have 3 left, and that's my observation hours. And I still haven't written anything in my field journal, which is why I'm still doing like brain dumps. And I mentioned that yesterday because I'm waiting for my iPad. I just want to write it down one time in my iPad and call it good, and then bring my iPad with me and take notes and stuff like that. So hopefully I get that iPad in here in the next like 3 weeks. So I'll be like halfway done at least with it, but I'd rather like just write it one time. But here I am at the school, so I'm gonna let you guys go, and I will talk to you guys after I'm done. Like I said, I'm shocked that I'm as awake as I am right now, and I didn't even forget to have breakfast because I had my husband make me some toast beforehand. Like I said, I do need to get like yogurt or something more substantial for the mornings that I can kind of eat on the go, which I have a feeling is going to be, even when I'm doing my student teaching and when I actually become a teacher, that's going to be a thing that I need to do. Just eat breakfast at school. So like bring my breakfast with me. So, but I'm here, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye. Okay. It's time for the after school brain dump. Such a good day. So, I believe I told you guys before that I get in early. I'll wait till the person behind me pulls out. I get in early because I drop my kids off at school, and then I come in. And today, my husband actually stayed home sick, so I stayed later today as well. Usually I leave around 11 o'clock today. It's now 11:30 and I'm leaving. So I was there for like a full 3 hours today, which doesn't sound like a lot, but that extra hour was amazing. And I'm gonna start counting the time before school as active engagement time, because today, and this is why, today before school I was making photocopies, I was grading papers and entering it into the grade book, like the physical grade book, not the one on the computer. I'm gonna learn how to do that tomorrow morning. I did bus duty before school today. Then during school, I was helping keep the students on track like I normally do at the very beginning of the day. And then I did my reading group, which went a lot better today than it did yesterday, because instead of sitting in chairs and around a circle, I actually moved desks to like create a table. And I had the 2 students that were kind of disrespectful yesterday. I had them sitting at separate areas of the table, so they weren't next to each other this time. So it went a lot better, a lot more smoothly. We got through the first chapter of the book, which I forgot to bring home to read and actually fill out the questions. But we went through that, and then we went through a few questions about comprehension to see if they were comprehending what was going on during that first chapter. Then I helped out with recess monitoring, and we came back in, and like I said, because I was able to stay longer, I was helping with worksheets with 2 students, so I was kind of like one-on-one with them to make sure that they were, 1, staying on task, and 2, understanding and comprehending what they were supposed to do. And then the school counselor came in and did a little presentation on kindness. It's a really big thing at the school about being kind. And while he was there, and this is kind of what I wanted to get to actually with this, so while he was there, he had an apple, And he had the kids come up and say mean things to the apple. And every time they would say a mean thing, they just dropped the apple onto the ground. He had like a little garbage bag on the ground so they could drop it onto the garbage bag so it wouldn't like make a mess. And then at the end he opened it up and showed them the inside, because on the outside the apple looked fine, even though they said all these mean things and dropped the apple. But on the inside it wasn't okay. It was mushy. It didn't look very appetizing. It didn't look like a good apple anymore. And I was sitting there and I was reflecting back to when I was their age. And it was about that time that... Here, give me a second. Okay, sorry. I had somebody messaging me that they were close to my house and they wanted to stop by, so I needed to respond to them really quick. But anyway, so when I was their age, and like this all kind of sparked with it, I was bullied. I was bullied big time. And I was looking at these kids in the classroom and I'm like, that was the age I was. It was 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade that everything just fell apart. I mean, I was bullied so bad in those grade levels that I seriously contemplated taking my own life at that age. And so it really struck home to me. Like, I've seen the whole Apple demonstration and stuff like that, and I've read about it and everything like that, seen it. But seeing it and being there with those students at that time, it really struck home to me that that was the age that I was at when I had those feelings and those thoughts. And the fact that other kids that age saying things to me and being mean to me and bullying me made me feel that way. And I was just looking at these students. And like I said last week, I was looking at my kids. I mean, they're my kids. And I couldn't imagine any of them feeling that hurt and that upset. And it made me just want to cry. That knowing when I was their age that this is how I was feeling and this is how my world was, and it wasn't okay. And so to think of any of them in that situation made me want to really reach out and really look for the ones struggling, because I wouldn't want anyone to feel like that ever. So there was that portion of the day, and then it ended with the kids are doing this it's called Kids in Power class on Friday, and so they were taking a pretest. So somebody comes in and they teach it. It used to be called Good Touch, Bad Touch, but it talks about abuse, and it talks about, you know, who to talk to and stuff like that. And so they were taking like a pretest to see what they knew, and then on Friday they'll take like the test. So we'll see how it all goes. But yeah, I'm home, so I will talk to you guys later. Bye. Good morning. Can't really twist it anymore. Today is day 7 of observations. It's also Valentine's Day, so happy Valentine's Day. I just dropped my son off at school, so I'm waiting to leave the carpool line. Any moment would be good. So, like I said before, I did make Valentines. I can probably even pull one out for the kids. Just these little bags. There's a pencil and a piece of candy. It's not fancy. It doesn't even have my name on it, honestly. But I did make something, and I'm excited to bring it in. I'm not going to be there for their class party to hand them out. But I will leave them for somebody else to hand out and look at them. So, kind of with last week, I was saying I was probably going to be tired a lot, which is true. This is bugging me. It's just not like better. But I'm not as tired this week as I was last week. And I'm not getting more sleep. I'm actually kind of getting less sleep. Because I'm actually working all of my hours at work. And last night I came home from work and I was starving. So I decided to eat something, which made it so I was up until like midnight because I was starving and I needed to eat something. So yeah, there's that. And yesterday I was talking to you guys, I was talking about how I was bullied in like grades 3 through 5 and how being with them and that whole Apple demonstration. I was thinking just more on that like a lot yesterday. I was thinking about it a lot. And I was thinking how, not that I hope that any of my kids when I'm a teacher are bullied or anything like that, but I'm really hoping that if any of them are, and even in the class that I'm working with right now, if any student's getting picked on or bullied or anything, that they can feel safe enough to come to me and I can really talk to them because I've been there and I know how it feels. And I know most everybody in their life at one point in time, they say they were bullied. When you're a teacher and you are bullied severely, you kind of have that new level of understanding for your students, that new level of empathy, knowing exactly what they are going through. And you also, and what might make it a little bit difficult for me, is I have that such a level of empathy for those students that get bullied that I have to also remember that the kids who are doing the bullying are kids. And yes, they need to be talked to, but I can't, not that I ever would, but I can't take out my anger of my past on them kind of a thing. And you didn't look. Somebody just pulled out of their driveway and didn't look to see that I was coming. So it's a good thing I was paying attention and I stopped. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to throw that in there. There's nothing new or special I want to say before school today. Just kind of talking. I did something new with my hair. I tried like the whole French braid around my hair. It turned okay. It's not perfect, but it's okay. But as soon as I get to the stop sign up here, I will let you guys go. And I will check in with you guys after school today. Oh, I do get to learn how to put things in the computer grade book today. And I think I'm trying to figure out when I want to do the interview with the teacher. If I want to wait until I get, I keep saying wait till I get my iPad, but really, like, I just don't want to like handwrite things out 2 times. And I kind of want to do it digitally on the iPad, like handwrite her answers and stuff like that, and digitally. So, but I'll let you guys go, and I will talk with you guys after school. Sorry. So, we are all done for the school for the day. Oh, no. I'm impressed. I have to figure out a way to do the side braid better. It's kind of having a hard time pulling out properly here. So like I said before, today is Valentine's Day, and I'm sad that I'm missing the party. Like, I really am. And I kind of let it slip today to some of the students that I have a YouTube channel. So we'll see how that all goes. They're like, we're going to find you. I'm like, okay. So if you guys find me, hey. I got a really cute Valentine from the teacher. Just a little flower. I should probably hold it while I'm driving so that it doesn't like spill, because there's actually like water in there. It's a little vase, little jar. Super cute. Make sure it's not like blocking my face while I'm talking to you guys. So today didn't necessarily go as I thought it was gonna go planned. We were making photocopies for the reading groups this morning before school, and so I thought I was gonna learn how to put grades in the grade book on the computer, but like we were just they switched up reading groups at the beginning of the week, and so we're trying to like get it still everything like completely organized with that. And so we're working on that, and I forgot the book again to read. And then during reading street at the beginning, so like where they like read from like their textbook, like a short story, I was in the back cutting out little math packets and stapling together. So I was still actively observing, so I was helping out in the classroom, but it wasn't the way that I thought I was. I prefer working with the kids and just cutting out the paper, which I don't mind cutting out paper, like it's no big deal to me, but I do prefer working with the students. And then we did reading group. We got further in our story. I need to come up. I have some students who they're having a hard time staying focused. So I need to come up with a way to keep them engaged, and that's kind of why I brought up the YouTube during my reading group, because I was trying to get them engaged in what was going on and staying focused and stuff like that. And so that's kind of because YouTube it's popular, it's in, the kids know what YouTube is, they enjoy watching it. A lot of kids actually have dreams of one day being a YouTuber. And so while my channel is nowhere near to being like famous or anything by that means, I do have a channel, and I do post things, and I do record videos, and I edit them, and not fancy editing, but I do edit them. So we'll see how that all goes. I just need to come up with other ways to keep them engaged. And then there was one student who was stating how she was picked last to read in the reading group because nobody likes her. I offered to talk to her after. She didn't want to. You kind of could sense that she felt a little embarrassed for saying what she said, which she shouldn't feel embarrassed. If that's how she feels, that's how she feels. Like that's a legit feeling, and I understand those feelings. Completely understand those feelings. So I don't want her to feel any less because she feels that way, and I want people to tell her that what she's feeling is wrong, because it's not necessarily wrong. That's how she feels. That is her opinion. And then there was recess, and during recess I was administering a spelling test for a student that missed it last Friday. Then after recess was writing, and that student was still finishing up her, because it's not just a spelling test, it's like a reading comprehension and vocabulary test, kind of like all that in one. And then there were some other students, I guess, in the school, if you administer a math test, and any student who gets below an 80%, you have to reteach the material to those students and then retest them on it. And so she had 3 students get below an 80% on that test, and so she had to find time during her day. And this is like, when teachers say that they don't have enough time to do things, they really don't. Like, and it's sad because I totally understand why you would want to reteach and retest, but finding the time to do that doesn't cut into more curriculum to have them fall further behind is hard. And the only way to reteach and retest is to have students miss recess or to miss their specials. And that's not fair to them either, because then they get overworked and overtired, and they don't retain the information as well as they could have if they were able to go to recess and then relearn, or go take that like brain break. And so it's hard as a teacher to find that time and find that balance. And she's doing a great job. But they had to stay in from recess to retake the test. I don't know when she found that 45 minutes to reteach it. But I was just thinking when she said that as I was helping, because some of the students had to go in the hallway to finish after recess, because today there's a Valentine's party and she doesn't want them to miss library. Like, she doesn't want them to miss so much. And so they were just reviewing cause and effect again. They've been going over that all this week. And so she took that opportunity to just send them to the hallway, and I went with them to finish their tests so that they didn't have to miss anything else during the day. But I was thinking, like, how would I do that? How would I approach that situation if I was in her shoes? And I've heard some people call it lunch bunch. And I'm like, I think that would be the best way to go about it. Like, yes, you're sacrificing your lunch prep time. And if you eat with the other members of the staff during that time, you're sacrificing that. But I think it would be well worth it to have students, get their lunch and bring it in and reteach during that time, or even before you get to the point where you have to reteach, kind of have a list of students that may be having a hard time and offering for them to eat their lunch in the classroom to kind of just review and go over. That way it's a little less formal of a teaching session. They're eating lunch, they're having fun, and come up with ways to make that kind of a lunch bunch fun. I don't know how, but maybe there's a way. So that's kind of my take on how I would approach that situation. But I'm not in that situation yet, so we'll see how I do it when I become a teacher. But I'm home now. I'm starving. I think that's the common theme for this week. I'm starving. Constantly starving. So I'm going to go in. I'm going to find something to eat. I'm going to eat something. And then take my son to school. And then go to work later. So I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye. Okay. Week 2 done. I think I put in 5, 6, 7, and then I think I put in 11 hours this week. I'll have to do the math again because something so I should be close to 20. No, I would be over 20 hours. Or I don't even know anymore. Or maybe like really close to 20 hours. I don't know. I'll have to do the math and take a look at it. I'm sure if I really thought about it, I could come up with the numbers for how much I've done. Also, good news, I was able to eat breakfast. It was definitely a school lunch breakfast, though. It was kind of gross. But it was something to eat, and I needed something to eat, so I'm glad I was able to. Today, the schedule kind of changed around a little bit. So, because today they were doing that Kids in Power thing, and there's no school tomorrow on Friday, and there's no school on Monday. And so they had to take a spelling test today, and they had to do it earlier in the day. It's like, what's that sound? It's my heating turning on because it's cold outside. It's 31 degrees. It's cold. We were having such nice spring weather days. Anyway, squirrel. So they were having the Kids in Power class today. No school tomorrow. No school Monday. So they had to take their spelling test this morning instead of doing their reading program. And so I got to observe and help administer the spelling test and the vocab test and like a comprehension test. They were also I was going to help out with like a fluency reading as well, but we just ran out of time. like, it's becoming more and more apparent. Found another theme. That there's just not enough time in the day to get everything done. Because you can plan out saying, you know, I'm going to do this between this time and this time, and that's great. And theoretically, it works out just fine. But then you actually throw live students into the mix. And some of them, they don't work as fast as what your schedule wants you to be. And so it takes a little bit longer. So I think it took a little bit longer to administer the test than she thought it was going to take. So we weren't able to do the fluency test. And then it was a computer day, and she only has computers an hour a week. It's 30 minutes on Monday and Thursdays. Or is it Tuesdays and Thursdays? It's 2 days of the week. And she needs to take full advantage of that computer time that she has. It also makes me wish, and I'm sure every teacher wishes this, that they're just made of money. And I wish that when I become a teacher, I could just purchase laptops for my class. Whether it be, I would probably end up, stop sign. My binder just fell. I personally would go for Mac, but that's because I'm a Mac kind of person. I'm not really, I used to do PC, and I just had a lot of problems with it. Like, I had just a lot of problems with PCs. And so we switched over to Mac. I have an iPhone, and I have a Mac computer, and I'm getting a MacBook Pro here soon. I kind of switched over to Mac. We're a Mac family, and I really enjoy it. But we're also not like a huge computer gaming, and I've heard PC's better for computer gaming. Anyway, again, squirrel, my gosh. So she had the computers were late, but that was okay because the kids like pretty much just finished taking their test when the computers got there. So sorry, it all worked out. The way she administers the test, though, she has her students, I don't know if it's mandatory by the school to do it this way, but, like, the students were moving their desks, like, backwards and forwards, like, spreading them out throughout the room to take the test so that they weren't, like, next to each other. And I'm wondering if that would be another benefit of flexible seating, because then you kind of just have clipboards for each of the students. And they're able to find a spot in the classroom that they can just sit, whether it be at a desk or on the floor or anything like that, that they're able to take their test instead of having to disrupt and spend that time moving desks and then moving them back at the end. I also talked to her about when she actually found time, to clarify when she found time to do the reteaching that I was talking about yesterday. And she said that sadly she had to keep them in from their prep, which is their like arts, music, art, library, PE. She had to keep them in one day. I don't know what day she kept them in, like what they missed. And you can hear that she does not like doing that. She's like, because that's the arts. She's like, you need the arts. And she's like, but my only other option is recess, and they need recess. And I asked if she ever tried like a lunch bunch, and she says a lot of teachers don't like doing that because they don't like giving up their lunch because that's kind of like their break. She doesn't mind doing that, but there's also, which I didn't even think that parents would mind doing this, that the parents get upset if their kids miss like their lunch with their peers if they're in lunch bunch. But I'm like, if you do more than one kid in a lunch bunch, they're still having lunch with their peers. And if you keep them in just for lunch and let them go out for recess afterwards, they're not missing, like, the outdoor time. I'm thinking that would be, yes, you'd be giving up your lunch as a teacher, but to give up your lunch, you know, a couple times a week possibly, or not even a couple times a week, maybe, you know, after every test, you know, plan for 3 lunches the next week that you're giving up your lunch so that you can reteach something and then re-administer a test so that you can actually have your students succeed and be successful. I think that that would be far more important than being upset that you missed not having kids in your classroom during your lunchtime. Personal opinion, but I have a right to my opinions. So I'm here at home, go in, make sure my kids are ready for school. This will be going up this weekend sometime. I'm still not sure of the exact date. It's kind of when I have time to put all of this together and then find time to put it onto my computer and upload it. But it will go up this weekend sometime. It could go up tomorrow on Friday. But that's the end of week 2. So this was field journals, just for myself so I know. This is field journals 5, 6, 7, and 8. It's my son. He's like, Mommy, get out. So field journals 5, 6, 7, and 8. I should get out. Want to say hi to the camera?
Yeah.
Say hi. This is one of my kids. So that will go up, and I will see you guys next week when I do my next week. Next week's only 3 days long because there's no school on Monday, but it's gonna be great. Okay, say bye.
Bye.